Hey guys, Sherm here, and today I'm going to be testing my newly golden maxed Bugatti Chiron in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. Ever since I first got the Bugatti Chiron in its first run of its special event 3 years ago, this was always one of my biggest goals in the game, and since the special event has come around again, I've finally been able to golden max it out, and today I'm going to show you how it does. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, as well as my Purple Team Discord. You'll find the links to those in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. To understand why this achievement is so important to me, we need to go back to pretty much the beginning of the game. Before the Koenigsegg Jesko came out over a year later, this Bugatti Chiron was the king of the game for the longest time. When its first special event came around, a lot of you guys may remember, I made a video opening 12,000 tokens worth of Bugatti Chiron packs and getting it to 4 stars. This continued to be my best car in the game until I got the Jesko to 3 stars, and then I got the Tuatara at 3 stars, and the Rimac, etc. In which case, I still actually used the Chiron a lot of the time, because I just found it to be overall better than some of those cars in certain tracks, like more reliable overall. Obviously, you have wall riding issues of going on its side and stuff like that, but due to the fact that I had the Chiron at higher stars than those cars, I would often get better times in it. Now, whenever the Chiron got out of the S-Class Elite special event, I didn't quite use it as much anymore, but I still used it in multiplayer. Sometime along the way, I think during a Burst of Speed weekend, I managed to 5-star it and get it to 5.5 stars, as in I had about half of the blueprints from 5 to 6 stars done. And for a long time, I've been saying that one of my biggest goals in Asphalt 9 was to get my Bugatti Chiron to Golden Max, at least to 6 stars, but I knew that this was the car that I'd be most likely to be able to Golden Max that was one of the top cars in the game, partially due to the fact that you can get its epics inside the Legend store, which I don't think you can for other cars like the Jesko, the Rimac, etc. But you can with this car, and that actually did come in handy, as later on we will see. Well, the Bugatti Chiron special event rerun came around in pretty much the same format as it was before, and I had basically all of the cars already maxed out that were in the event, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, but I was actually able to get enough blueprints to 6-star my Chiron just by playing the event, and I didn't actually have to buy any in packs. I think I needed maybe 20 something more, and the event gave 30 or so. So after I 6-starred the car, I had gotten one portion of my goal done, just maxing it in terms of stars, but I still needed the credits to star up the very expensive last star upgrades, which were like 2 million a piece. It would cost at least 10 million, I think, for the final stage on this car, or around that, which is kind of insanity. And I was missing 4 epics as well. Well, you guys know, this car also had a Grand Prix recently as well. I was able to get 3 epics through that. I got 8th place instead of 7th in, I don't remember which tier it was, but that was what stopped me from being able to get 4 epics instead of 3, and so I was still missing 1. Well, wouldn't you know it, the next day, after somebody reminded me about its epics being available in the Legend store, I found one in there for 15,000 trade coins. I had about 60,000, so I bought it, and then finally, after I got a bit more credits through daily events and stuff, I was able to gold max this car. Now, I've been collecting races for it over the past couple of seasons, the best of which you are seeing in this video right here, so I hope this can be a really great tribute to this car that was once the king of the game, and I've now managed to completely golden max out. Now, I know that I am not the first free-to-play player to do this, many others have done it before me, but being able to golden max a previous king of the game as a free-to-play player, and is still one of the best cars in the game overall, in my opinion, is a very great achievement, and I have no doubt that you guys can do it as well if you really put your mind to it and save up your tokens, and perhaps some of you already have. Let me know down in the comments below what you've gotten your Chiron to in the past special event, and perhaps if you've been able to golden max it as a free-to-play player as well. I always love hearing those stories. And speaking of being free-to-play, there's something I want to address sort of relating to that. Recently, as many of you guys know, I opened channel memberships where you can support me and receive some perks in return, and you can check that out down below at the join button next to the subscription button. But the thing with that is, a lot of people have said that I'm being hypocritical by offering that while also not spending money in the game. And while I can see why some people would think that, I don't really think that's a fair generalization to make. You see, joining a channel membership and deciding whether or not to spend money in a game are completely separate choices, And I will say that I don't have anything against people spending money in Asphalt 9. I just choose not to do it myself. In fact, this is one of the core tenets of my channel, just seeing how much I can do without doing that. I can afford to spend money on the game, I could afford to buy the Legend Pass, but just because one of the core points of my channel is seeing what you can do without doing that, I choose not to do so. Now, it would be hypocritical of me if I said, don't spend money on the game, but do spend money on me, but that's not what I'm saying at all. They're both just choices up to everybody. I'm not trying to get people to do one way or the other. I'm just trying to show what's possible without spending money if people decide to do so, and the membership is there if people do want a way to support me. They're completely separate, and I'm not trying to force anybody to do one way or the other in either situation. So I hope that clears things up a bit. I will be making a video about the memberships in more detail soon, but I just wanted to kind of beta test it, and somebody has already joined it, and I've seen that everything is working correctly. So in that case, I probably will announce it officially soon. So back to the Bugatti Chiron. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how it actually holds up nowadays. Well, I can confidently say that in multiplayer, it's still the beast it always was. You're very competitive against every car you find, even against the better cars overall, like the Jesko and, you know, the Tuatara, stuff like that, because it just feels so well-rounded. It's one of the most well-rounded high-end S-Class cars, and because of that, it's probably one of the most reliable, discounting the issues with the wall riding and stuff, which I thought they said they were going to fix, but it actually just seemed like it got better after the last update. Anyways, that's just to say, this car is still extremely powerful in multiplayer, still worth going for by a long shot. You just won't be able to use it in S-Class Elite, but really, you play that like once a month or something like that, whereas in multiplayer, you can use this car to get lots of rating, to get lots of more rewards in there, so I feel like multiplayer is more important than the S-Class Elite event anyway. The Bugatti Chiron has the 9th highest top speed in Asphalt 9. The acceleration is also very good, one of the higher ones for sure, and don't be fooled by the low handling stat. The drifting and handling of this car are fairly good as well. It just maybe loses a bit more speed around turns than some other cars. And its nitro, kind of mediocre, but it's enough to get the job done. You don't have to worry too much about it, especially not as much as you have to with something like the Tri-Nemesis, for example. I would say it starts getting really good around 4 stars, as do a lot of the other high-end S-Class cars. 3 stars is decent as well, but 4, 5, 6 stars, definitely where you want to be at with this car. I imagine that it will continue to be one of the best cars in the game for, well, years to come, honestly. I can't really expect it'll be pushed down solo in S-Class that it won't be one of the best cars anymore. Recently, the British Tour Season update came out. Now, the season itself hasn't come yet, but we do see things like a slightly rearranged home screen and a slightly rearranged club screen just to make things a bit more accessible, which I think is pretty nice. Also, we now have the way to sort cars in your garage by different things like, you know, make, model, stars, all that stuff. And I'm pretty excited to see how the new events are going to play out. Most likely we'll get one within 24 hours of when this video goes live, because that is when the current multiplayer seasons and stuff all end. The British Tour season has technically already started, like with the Legend Pass and stuff, and if the new kinds of events are different enough than the current ones we have, I might make a video about them. Also, Club Clash, we'll see about that as well. Whenever I get access to that, I'll make a video too. So even though the videos may be slightly less often because I have a very important actuarial exam coming up in less than a month now that I need to study a lot for, I'll still try to make fairly consistent videos about the new stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!